Hey guys, welcome to this week's painting tutorial. I have just finished building my shadow smear Primaris Vanguard, so I'm going to go through painting the Primaris this isn't the captain, this is the lieutenant in Phobos armour. So just here you will see my paint setup for painting my Blood Angels red. So I airbrush, he's primed grey, it's Halford's grey. Then I use Vallejo Scarlet Red as a whole base coat, done through the airbrush. All my base coating for the armour is done through the airbrush because it's quicker for me, I can get through quicker. Once that's dry, I mix this and Mephiston Red for 50-50, and I hit the model at 45 degrees, and then when that's dry I go solid Mephiston Red straight down, and just back and forth across the model, make sure I'm getting all the areas that are sticking out, and then finally get an edge highlight of Wild Rider Red. It's kind of the quickest, easiest way for me to get all my Blood Angels to tabletop and ready to go. So here's an example. Here is a Primaris Aggressor. Maybe if I put him here you might see it a bit better. So that line there, that's the Wazdak or the Wild Rider Red. Along here I have the Wild Rider Red, just on the edges of the fist. So that's how I'm going to paint up my Vanguard Primaris as well. So what I'm going to do is move all this stuff, get the airbrush out and airbrush some colours on, and then we'll be back. Okay guys, so as you can see my airbrush cup isn't ideally clean, but it's just around the edges and stuff, it works fine. So I'm going to drop in a wee bit of this. I don't mind putting in too much now because I have the whole side of Shadow Spear to do up like this, so that's no real biggie if I put in too much. I use this kind of water bottle thing here, it's for like washing tattoos or something. One of the lads ordered one of them on eBay and got like 6 in the packet, so he threw me one. It was just spot on, so just use that, squeeze in a tiny bit of water. I have an old crappy brush that I use. This is for mixing my colours in my cup. Let's get that wee test. Yeah, I think that's alright. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so where are we here? When I'm airbrushing I try and make sure I can get the base colour in all the recesses. So you want to make sure that you're going around all the angles. So even like in here, sorry, in there like that, just so you're getting in behind everything. I'll come back in a second when that's finished. Okay guys, so I kind of left that there for a few minutes, so it's mostly dry. But what I'm going to do is, I've cleaned the cup. Every time I spray, if I'm not going to use it again for a few minutes, I use Vallejo airbrush cleaner, and if there's a lot of paint in it I pour it out and hit it with this force. This is just cheap window and glass cleaner. It's also good at cleaning out the airbrush. Right, so throw that in there. Get my Mephiston Red. So you can see that there is some red paint in there. Zoom back in the way I had it, sorry. Right, so you can see the little red. And there's breakfast. You're going to want to mix this in such a way that it's brighter than the last colour. That should do the job. Get a bit of water. Mix it up. Okay, I think we're good at this. So 45 degrees. Cover all the edges and straight down from the top. Back and forth to make sure I'm getting the whole model. Might have made that a bit too watery. It's hard to see from behind the camera. But we've got the next colour down. I'll give that a few minutes to dry. Yeah, it's just this backpack. Okay. Okay guys, so the paint is kind of dried up a bit more now. Smart thing to do in your airbrushing colours, go and do the dishes and then come back and it's dry and the dishes are done, so it's a win-win for everyone. I'm gonna just do the Mephiston layer, highlight down on top now. I'm going to add a little bit of water so it's not too runny, just with me spraying it straight down on the top. So I'll zoom in for this, so just give me a wee second. Okie dokie. So I'm going to start here. I'll come back after the compressor. Okay guys, so now we have finished the airbrushing coats. It's kind of subtle, which is nice, because when you throw on the Wild Rider red, I keep thinking Wazdaka red, it does pop. See if I get this to focus. Basically this is what I'm going to do now, so you see around the edges and stuff, that orange. I'm kind of speed edge highlighting, if it's such a thing. Like, it could take me 10 minutes to edge highlight a whole marine. It's probably not the best way of doing it, but I just want them tabletop ready and done, so that I can start getting games out with a fully painted army. So this is the brush that I'm using to do it. It's a nice tip on it. It's the Citadel number 5 layer brush. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just give my Wild Rider red a bit of a shake. Get some of it onto my brush. This is the wet palette that I use. It's just kitchen roll, load of water in the bottom of it, and then some grease-proof paper and baking paper is the one that I got. It does the job, but I could sit with this thing open all day, so some of it has started to dry up on it. Okay, so I'm just going to get a bit more water onto it. If you have a two-tone, what happens is it like decreases or increases, I should say, the opacity of the colour, so it makes it a bit more see-through, so you don't get as nice an edge highlight, so you have to be careful about that when you're tinning your paints. And we are blurred, and we're back. Okay, so where would be the best place to start? Start at the bottom, work our way up, so the edge of the boots. Try and keep your hand as straight as you can. I'm going very quiet here because I'm concentrating. It's very hard to talk and edge highlight. I think this happened before to me as well. So for the likes of the kneecaps, what I'll do is I'll do this bit here. And then from there I will go, okay, you can't see it. Okay, so I'm after doing this little bit here. You can probably see the orange. And then I'm just going to bring this bit up. And I leave the bottom of the knee unhighlighted because obviously there's not going to be any light down there. So I'll go the same again here. Just to highlight out the panel. If there's like a loud noise in about 5 minutes, it's because I've been holding my breath the whole time I'm doing this and I've passed out. Okay, so here, I keep going off camera, sorry. Try and make it more suggestive than anything else. You don't have to highlight every single part. Just enough to give the idea that there is light catching some of the surfaces. And now if you want, by all means, go and edge highlight every single piece. Each to their own, but the way I'm trying to do it is not edge highlight every single line, because I will literally be here till the end of time edge highlighting Primaris Marines and not get into a vehicle. And this way of painting is how I've painted my intercessors, my reavers, my aggressors. I stopped working on my Battle Predator, but he will effectively be done up the same way as this. Try and keep the lines as thin as possible and tidy as possible. The only thing I would say to you is, if you are edge highlighting with a mixed up colour, as in a colour you made up yourself, paint the ribbon and everything else first and do your edge highlighting last, because you see this piece here, that bit there is, it's kind of blurred. Get that out of the way. See if that works a bit better. Yeah, okay. This bit here, it's just like ribbon. I know I'm painting that black, so obviously using the wet palette, it keeps the paint wet, but I'll paint that black, and if there's any spillover, all I have to do is get out this little paint, the brush again, and just touch it up. Like, you might only need a wee dab or a wee dot or something just to tidy it up, but keeping our models as clean and well painted as possible at all times. Okay, so see for the front of the boot. Right, hold on, I'll just do this bit as well, same way I done the other one. His feet will probably be covered. Most of the time when I'm doing snowy bases, I like to put some of the snow on the feet, but I always paint them anyway. But see this bit here, there's no real edge on it. Just draw a wee line like that, as if there's light catching it. Now you can see the difference, so put the brush down so I can talk. Here is the captain that has no edge highlights on his feet, and there's the edge highlights. It's not much, but it's enough to make it pop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop there. I'll edge highlight the whole model and come back when it's done, because I don't want to spend ages edge highlighting and make you all watch it. So we'll see. Okay guys, so I have gone through and I have highlighted all of the areas that I want to highlight. So boots, arms, you can see the fingertips there, back of the jetpack, grab chute, whatever you want to call it, the knees. I paint my sergeant's and lieutenant's shoulder pads black, so this will all be black here. So I highlighted the rim of this shoulder pad in the Wild Rider red. Just a small bit of highlighting here. You can see some on this here, on his helmet. I highlighted the middle streak and this mark here, but I was thinking about it after. I'll probably go in and paint a gold streak there on the top, because he's a lieutenant, and then paint it. I'll just give a little edge highlight to the chest here and the smaller chest plate underneath. So that's all of the stages to highlighting my Blood Angels and painting Blood Angels red. I don't do any washes or anything like that, that's it. So I'll leave it at there, and I will come back with a part 2 painting all the details in this guy. But that is how to paint Blood Angels red my way. It won't win you any competitions, but they will look good in the tabletop. So thanks for watching guys, and stay tuned for more videos.